Guys, today we're talking about something we've been covering for a minute, a long time, a long grip, might I add. Now, if you guys haven't read the title or seen the thumbnail because you can't see, read, blink, or even breathe at this point, we are talking about the slippery man, the oily, slippery man himself, the 1,000 baby oil bottle man himself, P. Diddy. Okay, we're talking about, we're almost to the conclusion of his trial. Some things just came in, and it's getting critical. Okay, and he definitely got away. He slipped away. He oiled himself down, and he slipped away through the justice system. And yeah, we're here to talk about it today. I know that I covered this case about 3 or 4 times, maybe three at max, depending on it. I would have to go look, but I'm looking around that range. But I have been keeping close eye on this entire case as anybody else is, because it is, you can't look away. It's a train wreck. But anyways, let's get into it. The diddler was arrested September of 2024. His trial began in April. And during the duration of time, a lot of information came out about Cassie, him blowing up Kid Cudi's car, the freak offs, 1,000+ bottles of baby oil, big, small, that's about $10,000 plus of slippery ointment, you could literally drown me in this entire room filling that entire, 1,000 bottles of baby oil up. I think that's like 4 or 5 Olympic-sized pools, probably more, to be honest. Imagine being that slippery. But anyways, a lot of information came out, a lot of oohs and ahs. He was doing a lot of freaky, wild, wacky, doohickey type of behavior. And, it all came out within this case. Now, today, coming up, within the last, 48 hours, we reached a verdict. And a lot of people are not happy about this. I actually had a discussion with my friends about this, and I basically said, I think he's gonna be, hit with some charges, but not all of them, unfortunately. Because the way that these charges were brought on, I'm no lawyer, by the way. The way that these charges were brought on, through my perception, did not fit the way that it was going to go down due to how things were set up. For example, everybody, if this was a domestic violence case with, the whole Cassie situation, and you saw the footage come out of P. Diddy literally beating her up, literally. If this was a domestic violence case, it would be opened and shut. Judge would open it, laugh a little bit, close it, and then you're going to jail. You understand? There's no slipping out of that. There's no oiling down that verdict. But instead, the way that this was set up was it was a bunch of sex crimes, it was along those lines. And the way that they set it up and built this case was basically founded on he's gonna get hit with something, but not all of it. Like racketeering, you're not gonna I feel like I seen this from a mile away when I was having this discussion with my friends. He's probably gonna beat that, unfortunately. And he did have a lot of, crazy lawyers. Bro had the elite lineup. He had every great lawyer that would ever even surmount to be a lawyer. You understand? Bro damn near had the 4 horsemen of lawyers. You know what I'm saying? Bro had Brian Steele. I don't remember the other ones, but he had a lot of them, and they were all very, very powerful, very high status. Millions and millions of dollars were being funneled into their pockets because they were literally cracking open the niggalation books, and they were cracking the code amongst the justice system. They were alley-ooping, shooting threes. They were doing all types of crazy, wild stuff in the courtroom. They had 6 fucking prosecutors, back to back, band for band. What are we talking about? Anyways, back to the case. Yeah, so he was hit with 5 charges. I'm going to read them out, and there's 2 of them out of the 5 that he's actually guilty of. And we're going to read this out now, and this is why the internet is so angry. Diddy was hit with racketeering conspiracy, 1 count. He was pled non-guilty. The second count, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Not guilty. Count 3, trafficking to engage in prostitution. He was guilty upon that one. They got him. Count 4, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Jane Doe, not guilty. Count 5, transportation to engage in prostitution. Jane Doe, he was guilty. Now, compared to, the 2 versus the 3 that he was actually, non-guilty on. So he was guilty on 2, and those were the prostitution ones. And the rest of them, the big charges, he was not guilty upon. Compared to those other ones that he was non-guilty, the ones he was guilty upon, the guilty ones are very small potatoes. They're really like nothing. They each hold like at maximum a 10-year sentence, but Buddy's not going to get the full 10 years on each one. He's not going to. All right. And in fact, the lawyers, or not the lawyers, the judge is asking, not the judge, the prosecutors are asking for 5 years. So he might get 5 years based off of these 2 charges. Buddy is not maximizing off of 10, 20, not at all. Okay. He might not even get 5. I'm going to be real with you. Buddy might get a slap on the wrist and oil himself home. He might have the bit. And you think the freak offs are done. He's going to have a welcome home freak off. Bro's going to have a freak off for 30 days straight. I'm talking about bro's going to be so oiled up. He's going to be able to phase through the 8th dimension very easily by just the slip of a hat. You understand? Buddy's going to close his eyes open. He's in the 9th dimension. That's how oiled up this man's going to be once he gets out. Bro is going to be so oiled up, we're all going to be scared. He's just going to appear in people's homes like fucking Batman. You get what I'm saying? He's going to be in the shadows. You're just going to, the lights turn off in this room. I'm going to be screaming at one moment. Bro, the lights are going to turn back on. There's 3 Diddies hovering over me. I'm cooked. Okay? I'm going to scrap it out. But you know what I'm saying? If I get oiled up in the oiled dimension, I might be fried. But anyways, let me stop. Anyways. Yeah, so people are very angry about what he was found guilty upon, and they feel like they should hit him with the book and throw him away, take the key and swallow it, and never, let him out. Unfortunately, that's not how the justice system works. And some people, it really did split the internet. Some people feel like he was overcharged. Some people feel like he was undercharged. Some people feel like there was a incredible amount of evidence that should have been able to lock him away, and he should never see the light of day again. And I do agree with a part of that. I do. Like some of the evidence that came out, it was so crazy to the point where it's like, yeah, you definitely should be buried under the jail, but that's not up for my decision, unfortunately. That is to the justice system. But yeah, these are the charges. This is what's going on. People are asking for 5 years. I don't think he's going to do the 5. I think Buddy might do 3 at max. I'm not going to lie, like 3 at max. And then like, that's the highest. And then the lowest is like, yeah, you're going to have to pay like $25 million to bail out now. And then on top of that 3 years, if he even if he's sentenced, they might just use like time served because he's been in jail for so long. So he might not even serve the 5 or 3 years, but he might legitimately serve like 1.5 for real, but that's really all I have to say. By the way, I'm no lawyer. I have no clue, how deep the law goes. I am just as average when it comes to the law as anybody else. Okay. I just can read a little bit, but yeah, this is the entire Diddy thing. What's been going on. It's kind of crazy that we're really wrapping this up because, this was a very long-winded and drowned out story. And it's finally coming to an end. But yeah, that's my entire take on this. I knew that he was going to get hit with something, right? Like it got to the point in the case where it was like, okay, he's going to go to jail, right? But like at this point, it's not for like long. It's not like a life sentence. It's literally just how long. Like he's gonna get hit with something, but he's not gonna be in there for that long. Bro's gonna be in there for a good quick save and leave. But anyways, that's like how I feel about this entire situation. To be honest, I think that if this trial and the charges were structured differently, instead of him being a sex criminal and it was domestic violence, this entire case would have been open and shut and it would have ended differently. But due to the fact that they basically made him a sex criminal, this is obviously the way that it was going to go. But That's my entire take on it. The entire take on the matter. That's what I have to say. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, follow the Twitch. And I hope you all have a fantastic day. And, don't oil yourself down. I've never used an entire bottle of baby oil in my entire life, so I don't even know what the bottom looks like. But apparently, when this fucker gets out, Johnson & Johnson's about to have record high sales for months on end. But anyways, that's all I have to say. You guys have a fantastic day, and we're taking over. Subscribe too.